You see, life isn't random, it's a carefully orchestrated play where every twist and turn, every betrayal and heartbreak has a purpose. When they looked at you, they didn't see the masterpiece standing before them. No, they saw something else, something ordinary. But that wasn't an accident. My friends, oh no, that blindness was intentional, a divine intervention. God himself pulled a veil over their eyes, for they were never meant to behold the radiance of your soul. They didn't deserve you. Imagine this: you stood there, giving all of yourself, pouring your heart out, and they dismissed it as if it were nothing. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's the lesson. God, in his infinite wisdom, didn't let them see your worth because they weren't equipped to handle it. They would have fumbled it, tarnished it, left it shattered on the floor. So instead, he protected you by blinding them. Their failure to recognize your value wasn't your flaw, it was their destiny. And isn't it funny? Now that you've walked away, the fog is lifting for them. Slowly, painfully, they're starting to realize what they've lost. They're beginning to see flashes of the person you are, the person they dismissed so casually. But it's too late. That door is closed, locked, sealed. God has removed you from their path for good reason. Their regret is the price they pay for their blindness, and that, my friends, is justice. You see, there's someone else out there, someone being prepared for you as we speak. Someone who will look at you and see exactly what they've been praying for. Someone who will cherish every moment with you, who will handle your heart with the care it deserves. God doesn't leave gaps, he fills them with something greater. So while they sit in their regret, know this: you're being redirected toward the person you were always meant to be with. But let's not forget, their blindness wasn't just about you. It was about them too. It revealed their limitations, their inability to rise to the occasion. It showed that they weren't ready, weren't capable of receiving the gift that is you. And that's okay. Sometimes people are lessons, not destinations. Their role in your story was to show you your own strength, to teach you that you can walk away from what doesn't serve you and still thrive. It's a kind of poetic justice, isn't it? They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was free you. Free you from their toxicity, their inability to appreciate you. They set you on a path towards something greater, something sacred. And that's the beauty of it. God's plan always works out in the end, even when it feels like the world is crumbling around you. Now, let's be real. There were moments you questioned yourself. Moments you wondered if you were too much, if you should have dimmed your light to make them comfortable. But that's the lie they wanted you to believe. You weren't too much. They were too small. Too small to handle the magnitude of who you are, too small to rise to the occasion. And that's not on you, that's on them. So here you are, standing tall, free from their chains, free from their inability to see you. And while they sit there, haunted by their mistakes, you're moving forward, stepping into a life that's bigger, brighter, and filled with the love you deserve. Their regret is loud, but your peace is louder. Every tear you cried, every sleepless night, every moment you doubted yourself, it wasn't for nothing. It was part of the process, the refining fire that has made you stronger, wiser, and more ready for the love that's coming your way. Because make no mistake, it is coming. God doesn't leave his children empty-handed. So let them wonder, let them regret, let them replay every moment in their minds, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. The truth is, it went wrong the moment they couldn't see you for who you are. And that's not something you could have changed, even if you tried. Their blindness was their loss, not yours. Your path was always meant to lead you away from them, towards something greater. And while they're stuck in the past, you're walking boldly into your future, unburdened and ready to receive the blessings that are coming your way. And here's the thing, when that person God has prepared for you finally arrives, you'll look back on all of this and smile. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it was worth it. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, Every moment of pain, it all led you to where you're meant to be. And as for them, they'll watch from afar, still blind, still wondering why they couldn't keep you. And that's their story to live with, their burden to bear. Your story is different now. Your story is about growth, about love, about finally being seen for who you are. Because here's the truth: you are a gift, a treasure, a light in a dark world, and the right person will recognize that instantly. You won't have to fight to be seen. You won't have to beg for their attention. They'll show up, ready, willing, and able to love you the way you deserve to be loved. Let's talk about the beauty of divine timing, my friends. God has a way of orchestrating events so meticulously, so precisely, that even the heartbreak you thought would destroy you ends up being the very thing that saves you. Those moments when you felt unseen, undervalued, unappreciated, they weren't random acts of cruelty. They were part of the divine script. You see, they were blind because they were meant to be blind. Their inability to recognize your worth was the shield God used to protect you from staying in a place you didn't belong. Imagine the irony: they had you right there in front of them, the answer to prayers they hadn't even whispered yet. And instead of cherishing you, they dismissed you, underestimated you, and ultimately lost you. But let's not dwell on their foolishness too much. After all, they played their part perfectly. Their role was to teach you how to value yourself, how to walk away, how to embrace the fact that your worth isn't dependent on anyone's recognition. Now, while they sit in their regret, replaying every moment they took for granted, you're stepping into your destiny. You're shedding the weight of their ignorance, letting go of the chains they tried to bind you with. And isn't that the ultimate revenge? To live a life so full, so vibrant, so unapologetically yours that their regret becomes a constant echo in their mind? The beauty of it all is that their blindness was temporary, but your freedom is eternal. They may finally see what they lost, but it's too late. That chapter is closed. And while they're stuck in a loop of what ifs and could have beens, you're busy writing a new story, one that doesn't include their name in the credits. Think about the irony: they were so consumed with finding flaws in you, so preoccupied with trying to mold you into their idea of perfection, that they missed the masterpiece standing before them.
Please take this short break from your video to support our channel by getting yourself merch. Enjoy the rest of the video.
And now, as they sit there with nothing but their regret, they're forced to confront the harsh reality: they weren't the ones who got away. You were. And let's not forget the most poetic part of this whole tale. While they're stuck in the past, clinging to memories of what they lost, you're embracing the present and stepping boldly into the future. They're haunted by the shadow of your absence, while you're illuminated by the light of your newfound freedom. It's a beautiful contrast, isn't it? Their regret is their punishment, their constant reminder of the blessing they let slip through their fingers. And it's a punishment that doesn't require your participation. You don't need to say a word, don't need to lift a finger. Your silence is enough. Your absence is enough. And that, my friends, is power. The thing is, God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't let things fall apart without reason. He removed you from their life because he has something better for you, someone better for you, someone better for you. Someone who will see you for who you are, who will appreciate your presence, who will never take you for granted. And when that person arrives, everything you endured will make sense. So let them sit in their regret. Let them wrestle with the realization that they were the problem all along. Let them come to terms with the fact that their blindness cost them everything. It's not your burden to carry. Your only job is to keep moving forward, to keep embracing the life God has planned for you, to keep being the incredible person you've always been. And as for them, they'll remain where you left them, stuck in the same toxic cycle, searching for someone to fill the void you left behind. But they'll never find another you. You were one of a kind, a once-in-a-lifetime blessing they weren't equipped to handle. And that, my friends, is the ultimate truth. Now, here's where it gets even more poetic. As they wallow in their regret, you'll be thriving. You'll be glowing with the kind of peace that comes from knowing you did the right thing by walking away. You'll be radiating the kind of joy that only comes from being free of their toxicity, and they'll see it. They'll see you shining from afar, and it will burn them. Their confusion, their regret, their constant questioning of where it all went wrong, that's their karma. That's the price they pay for taking you for granted. And no matter how much they try to move on, no matter how much they try to fill the void you left behind, they'll always come up short. Their chapter in your story is over, and it's time to turn the page. Because what's ahead is so much better than what you've left behind. And as you move forward, let their regret be a reminder of how far you've come, of how much you've grown, of how incredible you truly are. God blinded them to your worth because they didn't deserve to see it, but the right person will. The right person will look at you and see a blessing, not a burden. They'll see your value, your strength, your beauty, and they'll cherish it. And when that day comes, you'll realize that everything you went through was worth it. Every tear, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt, it all led you to where you're meant to be. And that, my friends, is the beauty of God's PLA. So take heart, my friends. Know that the pain you've endured wasn't for nothing. It was leading you somewhere. And while they sit in their regret, unable to move forward, you're stepping into the life you were always meant to have. Their regret is loud, but your joy will be louder. Their blindness cost them everything, but your clarity has given you everything. And in the end, that's the justice of it all.